I was talking to her.
Randy, sorry my phone died. Joe, Blabac, you there?
I'm back.
Mike, sorry, yeah, the worst Instagram live etiquette ever.
Your phone was dead.
Phone died, yeah. Yeah, Dana White's on here. Dana, what up? Yo, we're excited for this Khabib fight. Who's he fighting? Oh, he's got Holloway, right? Are you a big UFC fan, Mike?
Not so much.
Yeah, I
think it's amazing. I just don't know much about it.
No, yeah, my father-in-law is big into it, and my wife is, and they got me into watching it, and fuck, man, those guys are animals. And it makes you realize, like, yeah, I love boxing, but, like, yeah, people end up paying $70-$80 to watch these guys dance around the ring for 12 rounds.
Yeah. Where otherwise in UFC they're just kicking.
Dude, they're gnarly, man.
Yeah, I mean, my friend Jason Ellis is super into it, and he tells me all about it, and I'm just
Yeah.
He's super into it. I mean, he's crazy. He's like my age, maybe even a little bit older. Sorry, Jason, but like he's like trains and fights, and it's insane. Like
Kane too, huh?
Yeah.
God.
But you were asking me about photos. And I was saying, like, right when your phone died was like the Stevie. Like DGK used it for a shirt, and DC had like a print of it that went with his like re-release of his shoes and things like that. And like that was literally a sequence that I found. It was still rolled up, like it hadn't even been cut and put in negative sleeves. And I just was like going through film, and I looked up at the window, and I'm like, wow, this is not
No way.
frame. So I have tens of thousands of photos like that. I just I kept everything. Like I kept all the film. Like if I was out skating Hollywood Boulevard to get a photo of Mike for Girl, and I was out with like Gino and Eric Bupecki and Keenan, like, and shot photos of all those other dudes, and I needed something of Mike, like I would just, keep the photo of Mike, put it in a slide sheet, label it, and archive it correctly. But like let's just say I'm too lazy. I just put all of it in like a box. So I have like these little plastic boxes of slides and like rolls of film, like probably like 20 giant plastic containers of like moving containers filled with film. Like,
holy shit.
It's insane. So every once in a while I'll go through one and just start unearthing stuff, and that's what I've been doing on some of our downtime here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a healthy way to be productive right now.
Yeah, no, I'm trying, man. It's not easy. I'm looking forward
I tell you what,
there.
dude, my knuckles are like, I don't never think I washed my hands this much in my life.
Yeah.
It's like such a shitty thing to complain about. Man, my lady has bad eczema on her hands. She's like looking at me like, yeah. She just said, thanks for telling the world I have eczema. You want to hear, do you remember this? I used to think this was like the most player shit ever. I think this was like Reason time period. Do you remember when Stevie got the Range Rover from Josh? I think it used to be Ken Block's Range Rover.
It was Damon Way's.
Or Damon Way's, yeah.
That's where he got it from, yes.
So, like, I vaguely remember this, but I'm pretty sure. I feel like he used to show up to Love and just bang out something super hard and then just ghost and be on some, like, puffy shit in the city. Because I remember watching him film a really hard line that was in the Reason, and then, like, an hour or two later, seeing him, like, whiz down South Street with the, like...
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and that was just, like, the program Stevie was on back then with the jersey up in one sleeve.
Yeah.
And probably, like, half the gear that he had skated in, but then he switched to, like, the chillers.
That all sounds about right. No, I remember because, like I said, I'd go to Philly, and like, 90% of my time was spent just hanging out at Love.
Yeah.
And I was just there. There was, like these days, I feel like things are overly planned. Like, oh, we got to get this.
Oh, there was no planning back then. Absolutely
none whatsoever. So my job was to fly to Philly and sit on the ledge with a camera in my lap or in my bag and wait for shit to crack off.
Yeah.
And like, it was just funny because, and then sometimes when it wouldn't, I would, you know, just hit up Josh or Stevie, because that's primarily who I was there to shoot photos of. They're like, hey guys, like, can we do something today, please? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we did this switch front nose, because Stevie's, because he had, you know, he filmed it, and I mean, he filmed it when I was shooting it as well, but you know, it was just like, hey man, like, can we just do something towards the end of the day and just cleared everyone off the ledge? Boom, you know what I mean? And that's how like so much of that stuff happened, and you know, he did that so easy, it was insane.
Josh was good. You know, I remember like there was something methodical about like remember like Wenning and Pops, they had like a very particular approach. Those guys would get there dumb early and practice certain shit and learn. But that was just the plan that they were on.
Yeah.
And I remember trying to get there early and skate with those guys, and I'm like, man, I can't even get my body activated till like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I didn't make it there that early either.
And then like, but then same thing for when it came to like the Stevies and the Joshes. Like, I remember what Josh did, like nollie flip nose grind, no nollie flip backside 5-0 on the main ledge, and just be like, it was just like, no, you know, you saw him like just try it a couple times and then just be like, all right, I think I can do this.
Ready for a line.
And you'd be like, yo, what the fuck? But I feel like that's how both of those guys kind of operated at that point.
Yeah.
And then I guess, man, just in regards to like your touch on earlier, like the newer guys, you know, just kind of just how that's been, and like, you know, any challenges or advantages you might see with what those guys have going on. Because I think it is a cool thing. I think how big social media is, and how expansive it is, and how hard it is to like keep any amount of collective attention on one thing.
Yeah.
Those guys have figured out how to do it. And
yeah, I mean, I think it's because they're like part of something that's almost bigger than skateboarding. And it's something that everyone could admire the same way that how everyone looked at Love. You know, it was like such a cool spot, and everyone's just hanging out together skating. And that's like, no matter where you're from, that's what you want. You want to be like hanging out with your friends in like a dope skate spot. And that's like, and it's very tangible. It's like something that anyone can have. And that's what's so rad about what they are doing, because they're just like in a rad city with a lot of history at a good spot, and they all skate together, and it's very organic, and it's just dope, you know. And they're all just the way that they perceive skating and their aesthetic and their taste in skateboarding, and everything is just aligned with the history of the city and like what others have maybe done before them.
Yeah,
it's just dope. So I mean, for that reason, I'm like so thankful to go there and like be able to document what's going on there.
Yeah.
And in hindsight of what I wish that I had shot back in the day, now knowing that like when I was at Love, I wish I just shot literally everything. You know what I mean? I remember sitting there watching Josh like pop up the tile before he did the tray flip, or like I remember like when we were skating down the street to like for him to do the nose blunt slide on the barrier off the ledge with the Love sign, that photo where it's on the left hand side. I remember like skating from his house with him like with the barrier on his board, like pushing down the street, and like just thinking of what that photograph would look like now and what it would represent. Yeah, you know, 16 years later is insane. You know, so now I have the opportunity to shoot all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it's dope. You know, just to hang on to it and make, you know, what's hopefully timeless stuff. Yeah, you know, with those guys. So. Those
that rotation of photos that you had just sent me recently, and it was like it was everyone. It was Josh, Justin, Kevin, Penny, and it was like it was what you said though. It was like it was those guys on all skating different shit in there, shot from different angles, and and it was cool. And I could tell, like hearing you say that now, it's like. And it only took a quick like mental glimpse into those photos to say like, yo, that's what you're really out there doing now for these guys. So,
I mean, it's just fun for me. It's like what we used to do back. Like we were all at Love doing what we all wanted to do. Like we all grown up like being into doing, you know. So we're all just doing it for the right reasons, and like it was just a dope time in skating, and I was thankful to be a part of that. And I'm thankful to be able to fly out to Philly and like hang out with those dudes. You know what I mean? It's like dope what they have going on.
And the cops aren't as bad on them at Muni though, huh?
It goes in phases.
It does.
You know, Jameer was like, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, they could be super bad, you know, like, or they could just not be. And like they,
whatever mood they're in.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Muni's open, you know, it's kind of like hit and miss until they're closed. And it was sort of like, you know, you could skate there in the evenings. But you know, last time I was there was in September of last year, and it was like, it was great.
It was wide open.
I mean, Josh and I stayed in the hotel literally across the street, so we could like look out our room and see the plaza and be like, all right, cool, we can just go down there. And that's why it's funny because I requested a room on the corner so you can see the plaza, and so Josh and I could shoot a photo out the window. You know what I mean? It's sick.
Man, it was cool when I got to work with Josh on that shoe. This is a completely separate thought, but just in regards to Josh, it was rad over the course of that. Whatever, we were up in New York for a couple of days and then back in Philly, and it was cool to hear from him after all these years later. Just kind of his personal perspective on just like his own legacy, you know, and a career where like he's remained loyal to the same shoe brand. He's only had to make one board adjustment, but obviously that company had gone through some things. But, you know, you could see like so many skaters are obviously there's an economic side to it, and you're forced to make decisions based on being able to provide for yourself. But the different things that have presented themselves to him over the years that he might have said no to, that people might not know. And just in terms of like preserving that legacy, like that you've obviously played a massive role in, man. It was really cool it was like, man, I never got to like hear his side of the story on his own career and his own decisions and own.
No, it's insane. Yeah, no, he's always been very mindful. I know even for years he was into like, you know, how guys of the generation prior to him had maintained their careers and like done what they had done, like guys like Lance or Cab, or, you know, and what they did with their like their shoe brands and what.
Granted, not everybody's, you know, like, this is the 1 percentile that's, you know, able to be able to control their destiny.
Of course, no, for sure, but like with that opportunity comes, you have to be prepared and know to do what's best. And Josh has always been good with working with everything that he's had in the best way possible and been mindful of like that. And that's why he's navigated the career that he's had over the last.
It's insane, man.
Years. No, it's insane. It's so insane for me because together we've both done that, you know, what we each have wanted to do for the last, you know, with DC for the last 20 plus years, and prior to that for another 10, just as skate rats and homies, you know. So it's like, no, most people don't have friends or know people for 30 plus years, but we've been doing the same shit together for that long. It's great. It's really crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I saw that in the those ads you guys shot in Chicago with the nose blind slide on the car.
Yeah.
And on the police car, and like even those tray flip clips, I was like, man, this is just an extension of what these guys started a long time ago.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Well, shit, man, I won't talk your ear off. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, of course, man. Thank you for having me.
Obviously, you've always been someone that I've had a world of respect for, and
thanks, man.
You know, as a friend and as a professional, and you're a massive contributor to, you know, where I came up skating at, and obviously on an international perspective. So.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. Well, we should
thank you.
Do this again
for sure. Yeah, we're gonna. Me and Kalis have some more stuff in the works too. So.
Sick.
Which I was like, before we got on this phone call, I was like, how the fuck did Mike not shoot our stuff? It was weird how our that project that Josh and I worked on.
Yeah.
Mike, it was like eerie how everything came together the way it did. just from like the early, just like putting the colorways to use, and then just like the idea for the visuals and everything.
Yeah, still.
And like Josh was so cool. I thought it, you know, I when I reached out to him about doing it, he from out the gate, he was like, Jimmy, this is your idea. Whatever you need me to do, like literally anything you need me to do, let me know. I was like, I'll be in Philly. I'll pick you up. We'll drive up to New York. We'll stay up there for a couple of days. We'll come back down to Philly. And he was like, yo, I'll change flights. You know, and I had a budget. He's like, you want me to reimburse you for your flight? You know what I mean? To change the fare difference and everything. And he was like, no, he's never. It was just all really, really cool. And it all came together. And fuck, man. I hope he was psyched. I hope you were psyched.
Yeah, no, it was amazing.
Yeah, we got another round of stuff too, so.
Sick. Well, I'll be on that.
Cool. But shit, I'll let you get back to the family. Stay safe, stay in the house.
Thanks, man.
Wear gloves and a mask to the grocery store.
Right.
How do you check the mail?
What's that?
How do you check the mail?
I mean, I really don't get that much mail, but I kind of just like, if I do, it's junk, so I grab it off the floor and usually throw it in the trash and wash my hands. That's
what I've been doing with a paper towel and like rip it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have to drop off. Like I have to go to the post office periodically too, you know, which is weird. But I have everything printed out here, and I just go to the post office and kick the door open, and
there you go.
You know, don't touch it.
That handle, yeah.
Just drop it off and dip.
Yeah. So, well, shit, man. I hope the family's good, and yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I think I'm gonna get Scott Johnson on here tomorrow.
Sick. Well, I'll have to have a gander.
Which is huge. So
it is.
What should I ask Scott?
I mean, hell, I don't know. I can ask him about Mad Circle days. You can ask him about, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. I mean, everything that he's done. Like, he's just such a rad person in skateboarding, and like, it's funny. He's one of the people that have just like, nope, like, you know, he's left so many like. All of us like wanting more video parts and more of his skating. So that's always been intriguing to me about Scott, you know, because like he's so amazing, and his skating was so like this, like how he looks on a board still to this day.
Did you shoot his lip slide DC ad?
No.
Remember the bar that went straight out, and the bar kind of like sagged a little bit?
Yes.
I think Pops grinded it too. You didn't. That wasn't your photo.
No.
I always thought that was yours.
That was pre-me.
Gotcha.
Because that was like 97, 96.
That was early, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I forget who shot it. Maybe Lance Dawes shot it? I'm not sure. I did contribute to DC before I started working for them full time in the late 90s, and especially when I moved to LA, and all those guys still rode for DC, but no, I didn't shoot that one.
Man. Yeah, that was a good one. He was on DC from early on, huh?
He was on DC, yeah, for a minute. I remember being at Mad Circle when I worked for Mad Circle, like sitting in
Wait, you worked for Mad Circle?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna have to extend this about 5 or 10 minutes. Then, what was that like?
That was amazing. I mean, that was kind of how, like, I moved to the city, and Scott was like one of the first people that I met. Like, I remember because I would go to Embarcadero by myself and just skate in the corner, you know, because I'm just some random kid.
No one ever fucked with you or anything?
No, I think because, you know, again, like I had just had respect for what those guys had going on in the whole scene. So again, I just minded my P's and Q's and kept to myself and skated and stayed the fuck out of everyone's way and like kept to myself. And after a while of doing that, Carl Watson was one of the first people to come up to me, and he's like, "Hey man, like, who are you?" And I was just, I was just like, "I'm Mike." Like, he's like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Michigan," you know. And he introduced me to Mesa and Scott, and you know, a lot of people in the city. And then from there, I met Chico and Mike and you know, Tay and everyone. And so Scott was one of the first people that I shot photos of. I mean, he's literally the first person that I ever got paid to shoot a photo was of Scott.
No way.
It was for a Pure Wheels ad. And Pure was like the same company as like Experience.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so they switched Simon Evans.
It was Experience, FIT.
Yeah.
What was Stamina part of it?
No, Stamina was Julio De La Cruz's
company.
Julio. Yeah.
God, dude. Them little companies is like you could write a book on those brands.
Yeah. So
they were like, they weren't around. Like they were around long enough for you to be really into them, and as soon as you started to appreciate them, they'd be gone.
No, just poof. Yeah,
just gone. Yeah.
So I shot a Pure Wheels ad of Scott, and I remember it was the first photo. I'm like, man, like I actually got paid. I think I got paid like $200 cash or something, and I was just like, man, this is amazing. Like, because
did you ever claim taxes for it?
That $200? No,
yeah.
I did not.
No.
I didn't know what claiming taxes was.
No, me neither.
But I remember I was like, wow, this is amazing. But it was so funny because it came out, I think, a Big Brother, and the font. So it was Scott's photo, but it was fonts. It was Simon Evans' Experience ad font. Like they just switched the two ads, and I was like, oh man, like I remember it was such a bummer. But yeah, he's one of the first people I shot photos of, and then from there I'm like, all right, so that's what I started shooting tons of people. So I got a job working I met Justin, through Scott, and I helped Justin sort of with everything. I shot, all the photos for all the ads, but then, beyond that, I would just do anything I could to help Justin because we moved in together and we were roommates.
Damn.
And I remember like
been a really gnarly artist doing all of the graphics and everything, didn't he?
Yes, Barry McGee.
Yes, it was Barry McGee.
Yeah, Barry McGee was the art director when I first started. And dudes like Gorm Boberg did graphics for them, who's another incredible artist.
Yeah.
But I remember just sitting there and like Barry just coming in like just a weird character dropping off like artwork, or he would fax stuff sometimes. Like he would fax drawings, they come out of the fax machine, like
yeah.
And even when I moved out, I remember Justin being like, hey, do you want any of this? Like a box literally of Barry McGee drawings. And I was like, no, because you're a kid. You're just like, I'll always be around like
this really amazing,
this really incredible art and like all this shit. You just take it for granted. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, just left it all there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's how I got a job at working at Mad Circle, and that was past Let the Horns Blow. I helped make 5 Flavors video.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah, like just filming 16mm stuff, like all the film stuff in there. I filmed most of that, and like just shooting photos and just helping out however I could. Oh,
God, what an amazing! What's up, Jeff?
I've been trying. Like, this is super distracting seeing all that, but I saw Jeff's face pop up.
Yeah, man, Jeff's the best dude.
He is. Jeff,
I hope everything's all right in New York, man. That's a scary business there. It seems like, man, kids and everything. But fuck. All right, well, shoot. I'll let you go, Mike.
Thanks, man.
Thank you again. This was awesome, and yeah, I gotta start brainstorming questions to ask.
SJ.
Mr. SJ, yeah. I was getting Jeff's message. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm telling you, it's hella distracting.
I know, yeah.
That's sick.
I saw Amelie. There were some really good people in here. All people that I really respect and all right, hold on. Philly said, do some questions from fans. Let me add the first one's on here. Do either of you guys have any crazy Philly stories? Skating, fights, bums? God, let me think. Like, what's the craziest ones? Dude, I remember watching like Tony Montgomery left his board there when the cops came, and then so we ran like a block away, and then the cop was sitting there trying to break Tony's board, and he fell trying to break the board. That was pretty good.
I'm thankful that I don't have a lot of stories, because when shit start cracking off, I just grab all my camera stuff and just like Irish exit out of there, and like just again minding my P's and Q's.
Yo, honest to God, the craziest thing was just like seeing the scope and the depth that the cops would go to really do nothing. Like there was one particular time, remember, like the park ranger would leave at like 5:30 or 6, and I was pulling up right around 5, maybe 6:30, and they had set up a little raid early, and I'm pulling up and I'm seeing like cops hiding behind the walls near Green Village, the Bronco ready to pull in on Market.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, on JFK. like bike cops waiting at the bottom. Is like, I used to always trip like, man, you guys like, yo, this isn't the safest city. There's like way gnarlier shit going on here.
There were probably bigger fish to fry than a bunch of dudes skating at a park, keeping things in order.
That was what I was always trip on. Like, damn, this is all this manpower for what? Like, you're gonna hand out a couple $50, and the tickets were cheap at that point too. They were
they weren't that much.
$40 or something. Like, so you're about to go through all this to issue like $80 worth of fucking tickets, you know?
Yeah.
That was always wild to me. One time a cop stuck us in the back of the van and drove us around like hella fast. And I was young too. I was maybe like 12 or 13 at that point and had only come downtown a couple times. And that was pretty scary. So I was just like, what the fuck? And then he just dropped me back off at Market East and was like, go the fuck back to Norristown. Mike, hold on. Phil, what you said? All right, Mike, what was your craziest spot? What's your craziest spot you shot a photo from? Like, I wasn't sitting here, but I wish I got to get this photo.
Oh, you mean at Love, probably? I mean, I don't know. I feel like I kind of crawled all over that park. I mean, I guess I wish I'd shot more stuff like when I shot Kalis from Muni from above, or just wider photos of just, I think it's more of just I wish I'd shot more, not where I didn't shoot from, because I literally crawled around every corner of that park for the entire time I was there.
I like this from Bob. What's your biggest photo miss or camera malfunction?
See, I don't share that stuff, but
there you go. I like that.
I always try to be safe and get it somehow, way, shape, or form. And I think I posted about this recently, where it was Stevie's photo. It was a girl ad where I shot it with print film. Completely forgot I shot it with print film. And then got it, I found it recently, but I would always get stuff in case my strobes didn't fire, or in case like something went wrong. It was like a safety net of getting it no matter what, because I'd float all the way there. And I mean, I've had flashes not fire or anything like that, but I've tried to not.
Isn't it crazy how much harder photographers have it than the filmers? Because here's this.
It goes both ways, though.
I would see photographers. They would get a rap if they missed stuff or anything. But you have to think about this huge human aspect to it. You got to press the button that's connecting to this particular action, and it's capturing it at that one right moment, Yeah. And you could do it a handful of times and not get that moment. Meanwhile, plenty of filmers will cut off necks, you know what I mean, chest up, and nobody says anything,
Well. Filmers also got to film lines and do all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to stick up for filmers here.
Yeah, gotcha.
I mean, it is fun. I mean, that's what I love. Just to speak on photos, I mean, that's what I love, the challenge of being able to tell a story in one picture.
Yeah.
Versus, like, it's easier to tell a story through, like, filming something, but it's more challenging to show what's going on and invoke a feeling and tell a story with just that instant moment,
Yep.
So I enjoy being able to do that. And for the timing aspect of it, it's like playing video games, man.
It is, right?
Practice, yeah. I mean, I've had cameras where the X-Pan, there's like, which is a panoramic like camera from back in the day, and the shutter release is like a little bit delayed, so you had to shoot the photo slightly before you would want to shoot it otherwise, and you just get the cadence of like figuring that kind of shit out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Big Cat said, what's the worst slam that you've ever saw at was it Recon or Rincon?
It was him. He hit his damn head hella hard. Yeah.
He said he had God, like brain. What did he gave me like this medical phrase for the type of sludge that came from his nose and ears from hitting his head, actually.
I didn't know that.
What the fuck? Well, Big Cat, what was it called?
I'm glad he's all right. Or was all right. I didn't know that.
All right, we got another one. Sorry, I know I said goodbye, but we're staying.
No, it's all good.
Any Carl Watson photos? That's a good question, because Carl's
the best.
His form.
I mean, my favorite Carl photo is probably the switchback tail, which was his first Mad Circle Live in '95.
Wait, which one? Where was it on? Oh, on
the metal ledges down from Bay Blocks.
Oh yeah,
where Mesa would call me Bay Blocks because I would hang out and shoot photos there all the time. But it was the one that has the Mad Circle logo in the photo because Carl was all psyched. He's like, "Oh, we're shooting this for Mad Circle. We're gonna put a sticker on the ledge." And I was like, I don't know.
Keep
and then he put it on there, and people thought we photoshopped it on there. And still to this day, 26 years later, people talk about that. So I'm so hyped he put the sticker on the ledge.
Just about the sticker.
Yeah. So that's why there's a sticker, and it just worked out where it was like, I don't know. That's my favorite photo of Carl because the sticker's like dead center of the frame, and he had this like Rasta belt on that's like kind of flying off to the side, and it was dope. I mean, it's like perfect Carl form, you know, like it's just
the steez was special back then, man. Like
it was all about the steez.
And guys would like, this is the best, like one of my favorite things ever. It probably doesn't make any sense, but like there were like lines of Stevie skating the pier in sheep shoes, and he made them look so fire. It was like the really thin, like, you know, but it's like, or like LeVar. Like the one LeVar video part where he's like skating in like random different shoes and boards, and I think he even says like I skate for S, I guess, but he's got like DCs on.
Or dudes would have sponsors but show up with like a fresh like Tommy Hilfiger shirt to wear to the pier. Or just like I remember Javante had like a Gucci shirt on one day, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And at the time, I think it was like $80 or something. I'm just like, how does anyone pay $80 for a T-shirt? Like that's insane.
Yeah.
So crazy.
The one Jamal clip where he had the Tommy shirt on, he did like a Manny kickflip or kickflip Manny. Yeah. Well, shit, man. I guess we could go down memory lane all day, but thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it. We're working on this summer project together with Josh, and shit, I hope you and the family get through this time period. I hope everybody on here gets through this time period safe and sound. And this shit's scary. It's, you know, health, economic, but I hope everybody on here understands that we're all doing this shit together. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
So thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, and have a good day. All right.
All right, you too, man. Thanks.
Peace, Jay.
Later.